This is Total Disruption Boardroom Battleground, where bold entrepreneurs step up and they put their businesses to the test.
Over the next 12 weeks, we'll push our contestants beyond their limits in branding, marketing, leadership, strategy, scalability, and profitability. Every move counts. Every misstep, a crucial lesson. Every victory, a moment to shine. Behind the scenes, a world-class production team will showcase their business like never before.
In the end, a single superstar is going to rise above the rest.
This is Total Disruption.
Boardroom Battleground.
Welcome back to Boardroom Battleground. I'm Michael Libercci, operator, motivator, and your no excuses escort through the final stretch.
And I'm Dr. Clendening. I'm a mindset strategist, a growth coach, and a firm believer that clarity only comes after the storm.
Last episode, we saw what transformation really looks like. Pain, pressure, purpose. We look deep into origin. This week, it's about reflection and full disclosure. Let's see what they learned from each other.
Where did they start? And more importantly, what are they doing with it?
Let's take this opportunity to stop, look back, and make sense of everything it took to get this far.
But make no mistake, this is still competition. And as we get closer to naming a winner, every relationship and every insight counts.
The boardroom is watching and still judging on 4 critical criteria: execution, growth, strategy, and leadership.
And in these last precious moments, we're going to see who's going to finish strong and who's simply coasting to a stop.
There's a lot of heart. I do hear people, kind of joking about how they're going to win the show, and I think there's others that don't even know what that means yet. But it's been very interesting, and I do think we're seeing an evolution of all of us in real time on the show.
The one thing I really did see that changed in Corey, he really steered into the collaborative effort with the other contestants. Like, he's helping Emily do some things in her world. He's helping Mark. He's giving suggestions, and he's not just coaching. He's being collaborative.
Emily and I were on a call, and I've been showing her a couple of things, and she said, "Corey, I want to show you the app that I built." And kind of like a proud parent moment. I'm not her dad, but she showed me this, and I was blown away. I was floored. That was $100,000+ build in 6 months in development, even less than a year ago. And so I say that to say this: it's not just our business, but what we're doing and what we need to do much more of is automating everything.
He's doing introductions. He's helping people move forward. I think that's the big move I saw in Corey, was his, going from that, I'm working on AI, to I have a lot to share. I have a lot of gifts. I have a lot of, my audience is large. I can share that with everybody on this show. And I guess that's the transformation I saw with Corey this season.
As a mentor who's helped launch over 100 startups, as a founder who's launched over 15, and for a coach who's coached over 100 people to success, it's hard to turn it off.
I think the strategy is lacking, and I think it's just because it recently changed. We switched from the coaching model to system model, so I am kind of in a tailspin. I need to really button down what direction I need this to go now.
Why the fuck aren't you just using captions for avatars and train an avatar really quickly? And why aren't you using closed GPT to be your appointment setter? And why aren't you probably hiring a VA or two, or even an AI VA that can literally cold call? But for me, the disconnect is that, you're saying people should be so privileged to talk to you and spend all this money in your Harvard, and then you're also saying but I need $30,000 a month. Right. I'm like, it would be hard for me to want to spend any money with somebody that needed $30,000 a month.
I think I am a little defeated. I appreciate you identifying that. I think a lot of it is just struggling to find that personal brand and rebuild it a little bit and get out of my own way.
You sound so not excited. You sound bored to death. It does not sound like you would buy from yourself. If you're telling people you can put $20,000 in their pocket and that's as excited as you are about it, I can only imagine how excited they are to pay the invoice. Well, you know what I mean? It may be worthwhile to just practice saying that more excited. Probably you used to say it differently 6 months ago when you were closing deals, right?
But Corey, from the contestant contribution standpoint, man, good job, buddy. Good luck to your company. I can't wait to see how you grow it.
We actually had to deal with a few things with Corey from a contestant standpoint, and he took advice immediately. He had the open mind. He was able to completely reposition the way he was looking at everything, seeing it from our perspective. We were seeing it from his perspective. I thought that was cool.
I look at the coaches and I say, I haven't seen so much from their coaching yet that's changed my trajectory. And so I really, I hope that the coaching component of the show is really adding value to some of the other contestants and to the viewers.
I wouldn't say that we saw like a massive journey or a massive change coming from Corey. And I think that's I think the change we saw is actually in the Loving AI. I think that's actually the change that we saw is as that's growing, one of the things that he had to learn that wasn't in place originally, obviously, was all people. When he started day one, he had a very standard board of directors. It was all human. It was remote. We were all doing things. And at one point in the season, they gave some control of the board of directors to the AI.
I love helping entrepreneurs, founders, and companies, scale, especially not at the detriment of their personal lives and their sanity. And so to be able to automate, to be able to delegate is something that I personally needed years ago and came into, just some short years ago. And now just the acceleration of what's possible and, being able to be, in these circles of people that are building and teaching and playing with and leveraging this new technology has been a whirlwind.
Well, Corey gave me a couple of great leads on companies that were really good for that. So I purchased a membership with one of those already. So right now it's really, I have the software. I guess I've obtained it and I've signed an agreement with them to get going. The next step is coding it. And what I'm finding about the coding that is fascinating, and Corey already knows this, but you're talking to it as if it's an employee. You're training it as a person. You are a friendly chatbot who's going to greet callers for diamond home buyers, right? You have a professional demeanor. So that was a real big brain shift for me, is communicating with the AI as if I'm talking to an employee. And obviously, as Corey's shaking his head here, it's going to learn as it goes along the way. So I've got little dials on the AI that say, well, how far off the map do you want us to go, right? And it's giving me that ability to tweak it and go, I can stay really on script, or I can move off script if you want me to. And I'm nervous, but I'm excited to see what it comes up with.
We saw Donnie kind of engage with some of the coaches a little bit more.
There's a heart-driven mission behind everybody's business, right? And I think it takes a little time to get your brain wrapped around how you feel about this outside of the money.
There's a difference between feedback and criticism.
More than anything with Donnie, he needs to be a brand. He's not a brand. He thinks he's a brand in a market that he left, so now he's in a market where he would, by his own admission, not be considered a brand. But I don't think he was the brand that he claims he was in Colorado Springs either. I don't think he was hopping out of his Jeep and people are going, hey, there's the real estate mogul, right? I don't think that's ever been his public perception yet.
Feedback is coming from genuine care. Hey, I want to see you get better. I saw this thing. How can I help you? Corey's great at feedback when he's speaking to the other competitors.
I have been visiting with Corey and how I can help him with his other businesses. So that's how it started. But then, it kind of, just telling him about more stem cells because he is so interested in it. So I stuck him in the mail to Brazil, and it's taking forever to get there. It's way easier to drop some off with Mark and Falcon. But when I did go into those details because he is that person and likes those, that he is excited to find out more and to research it on his own and to see what impact we can have even bigger with his influence. So yeah, it's pretty huge.
I mean, look at how polar different Corey and Emily's businesses are. And yet they're collaborating in a different way to be able to grow in different spaces. So that, again, it's the connection piece. It's the relationship built. This was I'm going to take that win today because that's something I always wanted to see.
for Emily, that one's easy. Hundreds of millions of people and billions of animals around the world need her product. So, I'll use my soapbox and say, like, anyone on this call, I could change any of your lives by working with you one-on-one as a coach, right?
I also offered them kind of the same model with the property. Hey, you buy so many quote unquote vouchers. So say that our Fundmost course costs $320. You buy 10 or 20 of them at $270. You pay them at full price, you keep the profit. Or vice versa, they refer somebody, they get a referral fee of whatever that is. So that was kind of the two methods.
Because here's what I'm hearing. I mean, conceptually, I like some of it, but I'm typically the type of person where I would rather own a lesser piece of a much bigger entity. And the way to do that is to have value-aligned partners. Like right now, the only thing that I hear that they're getting is a slight discount for themselves and their customers, and that's it. I don't see how that really gets them excited to blow you guys up. Like, yeah, you want to be on their YouTube, you want vouchers passed out. They might save a little bit of money over the course of the year, but I don't see why that gets them excited or what, right?
They get excited because they're able to promote their business on one of the best training facilities in Colorado. That's the thing. That's a moneymaker for them, from my understanding. They don't have a consistent place that they can go. They're scrambling, it seems, to go here or there or whatever. This means they have a home that they can come and do events, and that's a priority to them. I'm excited to try Loving Is, especially I'm not a creative type in any way. So if I can just say, hey, go do this for me, and it'll help with the creative, that would be highly beneficial for my business.
Mark, I think it's incredible because he's definitely a teddy bear, but I think he feels the need, since a lot of people see him on the show, to kind of remain in this tough guy persona. And at the same time, now that he's finally retiring from the military, I think we're going to see a bit softer side of Mark.
That's the reason I came on Total Disruption, is to learn from all these great coaches, learn from Donnie and Corey and Emily and everybody on the show. And so I can take those nuggets and apply them to my business, and to create a successful company that serves our community and makes impact on individuals. That's the whole point of why we're doing this.
Mark was getting ready to launch the new business in I-68 Consulting and getting ready to retire from a 26-year career in the military as a special operator.
We know who we are, and what we're trying to do. That is clear. The challenge for me is being able to articulate that. I can articulate that, speaking very, very easily, but transferring that over to messaging and the other spheres, social media, newsletters, and all that stuff to get that out there is what I'm working really hard on. And yes, and I use Chat GPT like you do. Hey, here's what I'm trying to say. Here's the problem. Make it professional, or make it whatever it is, and help. Because I'm a horrible writer, but I'm a great speaker. At least I think I am. And so that's that AI piece is just the AI piece. Just the ChatGPT has exploded what I can do, because even though it's mathematical, it's still more creative than I am.
That's a lot just in of itself to work on that. And then he decided, on top of that, we're going to go for permits, and we're going to build a new facility. Now, the facility alone, by what you have to deal with, is enough for somebody to deal with. The retirement alone is something enough.
Mark, I look forward to meeting his creation come to life at his grand opening. I'll be down there. Mark, hope you are ready to teach an extra rookie on how to do some of that cool G.I. Joe stuff that you're getting ready to do. And I know that he's taken a lot of the coaches' instructions to heart. I mean, just like he probably did when he was in the military. And that's just a really good sign of discipline. A lot of that stuff translates over. So Mark, I'm pulling for you, man. Hopefully we can keep your numbers tight. We'll keep working through your entrepreneur scorecard. Keep making sure that your profit margin and cash on cash return and business valuation goes up. If you look at some of his social media posts, it looks like he's already been in business for years. He's very comfortable showing his G.I. Joe playground off. So I can't wait to get down there.
Not everybody was able to take advantage of this massive network internationally to be able to grow their businesses. A little short-sighted on their part.
You know, I definitely am grateful that I joined this process to begin with, that I was chosen to be a part of this great learning process, because that's what I think it is I just got to learn from all of these really business savvy people.
When you're starting out, if you're not bringing in at least $10,000 minimum, you're not really having a business. It's just a hobby.
And social media savvy people.
I'd love to hear real quick, Samantha, what's like your story? Like, have you been singing since you were a kid? Why is this like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is this happening?
Business savvy people and social media savvy people and financially savvy people.
So realistically, in 5 years, if I had a second location, that's like a hopeful possibility. I try to be realistic.
You're trying to be realistic with the resources and the strategies that you're familiar with right now. But pretty soon, you'll have the ability to grow and expand at a much faster pace if you choose to. Maybe next year, the opportunity will come around again and our business will have grown more.
So we're trying to find our niche in the market. We've had to adjust a lot as we've opened, but yeah, it's been a wild ride. So I'm excited to keep tweaking and keep improving and keep finding holes in the market that we can fill.
I think where Samantha started and where she is are not that far away. I don't think she's made this massive leap. I think she's 12 weeks further ahead than she was. I don't think she's 6 months. I don't think she's jumped forward a year. And I think that's a little bit because I'm going to say it's fear-based.
I know I am a business owner, but every once in a while I get this imposter syndrome, like I'm a boss. I own a company. It's my job to make decisions. I'm the face of the company. It can get a little overwhelming. So dealing with those feelings definitely made me a little bit jittery and nervous, but everyone was really, really kind to give me lots of good feedback.
I don't know if Samantha got the benefit of having those roundtables with the other entrepreneurs, and that's an intangible benefit for anybody. Read Think and Grow Rich. That book's full of master classes that everybody's bouncing ideas off of, Henry Ford and Thomas Edison.
We saw Samantha kind of stay in her own space. She didn't really connect with the contestants. And that's part of why her business isn't really moving.
Collaboration here has been what I've taken away from this probably more than anything else, and meeting the people that we've gotten to. So I think that's something that is always useful in any, as you build your business, is the collaboration and the networking that then people send you, clients. And that's, I think, truly what this is just taking advantage of the networking on here to grow your business as well as all the other tools we're learning. I just wanted to jump on here and do another confession cam, kind of a wrap up as we're ending our series here, but wanted to touch on what I've gotten most out of it. And it's been the relationships for sure. Always have been a big person on building relationships and getting to know people and seeing how you can help them.
Whether it's you and I, or it's Mark, or it's Tori, I think that collaborative venture for her is what is helping her to make the decision to do it, right? To make that decision to do those things.
And so I'm super excited to be able to go take Mark's course out at the range. It's not very far from my house, actually, so it's worked out well. and being more confident in my shooting and how to handle a gun, because I do have a concealed permit and I've never used it. I never carry my gun. So, and then with Corey, you know, all of the exciting LinkedIn things that he's helping me build, it's just been amazing to meet people and see what they're part of.
His work with Emily was really a great value to her, and they just connect on that. That's probably a really good avatar for him, is to create that loving human connection, and that ends up equating to, you know, a real dedicated buyers list. And as soon as she gets her messaging out and her branding out, that there's a whole catalog of products that she's going to be able to sell, not just the ones that she's an affiliate of, but that, again, it goes all into her marketing campaigns and whatnot. So when she's ready to scale, she has a tremendous opportunity with really low barrier to fulfillment. So maybe her and Corey working together, she'll see that. But Corey, from the contestant contribution standpoint, man, good job, buddy.
You know, talking about animals and all of that stuff for the branding and, you know, wider impact, more likes kind of thing, but then fusing in the branding at the bottom, like, and how that relates back to real life and what it can do for you with what the animal thinks. So it's been a fun challenge to incorporate both of those to bring in more engagement and tact. But then also putting that on changing my branding on the LinkedIn page and even my Facebook page.
The trouble with Emily, she's in the boring. Emily is working right now in the most boring stuff you can possibly do. What did you do today? Oh, I made 10 phone calls so I could set 2 appointments, so I could go on the 2 appointments, so I could convert 1 appointment. She's doing basic sales KPI stuff. That is the least sexy thing in business that exists out there. It's lead generation, and that's what she's working on. I'd love to see, you know, something dramatic come out of it, but the reality is what she's doing is the best version of what's going to grow her business. And it's that gradual gradient.
Let's talk about competitive versus collaborative. What we know in business is nobody succeeds alone. And that's true of the contestants this season as well. Once they became a bit more collaborative, they moved their businesses forward. Mark and Emily had a pre-existing relationship, which helped them to obviously just start to move together. What happened later is Emily got together with Corey because Corey had a great idea and he really connected with Emily, connected with her in such a way that he felt compelled to reach out to her.
And to be, you know, experience and offer advice with them back and forth, you know, too, and help them from a financial CFO perspective of how they can understand their financials and be of service to them too. So that's what I've really enjoyed on this show, is getting to know all of the coaches and the other contestants.
Being on the show, getting to know all of the other, you know, contestants and also the judges and the team. Such an amazing group of people with so many different skill sets and visions. And so, you know, I come into this show with the mentality of collaboration over competition. And this being season 1 of Total Disruption Boardroom Battleground, I will suggest that anyone from this season, coaches, contestants, are all welcome to start a company with me. Everyone that wants to come in can be equal owners. We'll use all of our skill sets and we'll prove to the world that you can come together in a spirit of healthy competition and lead as business partners.
During the coaching calls, collaborative nature occurred. Feedback loops occurred. We absolutely saw that in our group coaching sessions. Next time on Boardroom Battleground, the contestants are wrapped. But the real disruption, that's just beginning.
From here on out, we go live. No edits, no filters, just raw strategy, real reactions, and full boardroom heat.
And who knows, there may be a surprise or two.
It ain't over till it's over, and we're just hitting our stride.
Today was not about strategy or execution. It was about connection, the kind that doesn't fade when the camera's cut.
What we saw wasn't just business growth, it was personal growth. Real friendships, honest support, a network that's going to outlast this show.
These contestants walked in as competitors. But somewhere along the way, they became something more. Community. One that pushes, one that protects, and one that keeps showing up.
And that might be the biggest one of all. Knowing you're not building alone anymore, and that's kind of why we do this, isn't it?
No doubt. Next week, the boardroom goes live, and the final analysis begins.
But tonight, we celebrate the bonds and the growth, the kind that you can't fake.
Amen to that. We're going to see you next time, live, unfiltered, and one step closer to the official win.